Middle spot side Cat Light over on the right here on Bant Spirits. Normally a deck, this is the first time we've seen a non-Caleb Durward pilot of this deck on the tour.
Yeah, for the results that Caleb sees, people have been pretty hesitant to pick up Bant Spirits.
Caleb never loses with the deck. I think was the winning deck of, was it our last team open with it or 2 ago?
Did they win or lose the finals? Anyway, he does have that open trophy anyway. Plenty of great results. I believe he did put down Bant Spirits fairly recently. He finished 11th with Hollow One in Milwaukee, so even he's off this deck at this point. But so far, Cat Light off to a great start with Bant Spirits.
So one of the things that Naya Scapeshift has been doing, so in Valakut, first thing is Bloodbraid Elf was the reprint of Bloodbraid Elf pushed most of the decks into playing Bloodbraid Elf, and I think what we're seeing now out of Scapeshift is what can you do to make Bloodbraid Elf even better, you know, to improve your fair plan. In the originalist, Bloodbraid Elf just cascades into Search for Tomorrows and Explorers, which isn't bad, honestly, but that 3 damage is kind of thrown away when you're a combo deck, so the 3/2's whatever. At this point, because she has Renegade Rallier, Becky can have turns of fetch land, play Bloodbraid, cascade into Renegade Rallier, revolt that land back into play, and now when you have 6 power at 4 mana, 3 with haste, the damage becomes a real thing.
Right. It's also a ramp spell. If you get back a fetch land with your Rallier from there. And once you get in some chip shots, it makes it actually pretty easily to close naturally just by having Valakut on the battlefield. Yeah,
so the idea is you still want Bloodbraid to always cascade into a ramp spell, but the more incremental pressure you get suddenly means against decks that are trying to Fulminator Mage you or just, you know, use a Liliana to take all the cards out of your hand, you just go on a different plan, you know, maybe against 8-Rack. They start, which is a horrible matchup actually for Scapeshift. They start making you discard cards and just say, fine, Bloodbraid Elf into something, here's my board, you get my cards.
On the topic of 8-Rack, Becky's taking a lot of mulligans here.
This is not a deck that mulligans well. You ramp is that, you know, that 3-legged stool. You need big cards, ramp cards, and lands, and you need each of them in a certain ratio. When you start mulliganing, that just is very hard to make that work.
Right. Giving a big think to the scry here. You want to make sure you maintain that ratio or it can develop into it. And it looks like Cat is on the play.
So yeah, Cat on a 7-card hand. For Becky, it's 5. It's really hard on a 5-card hand. Now, she is on the draw, which actually on a mulligan to 5 is probably a good thing for the deck.
Yeah. Just in general, anytime I mulligan, I kind of wish I was on the draw.
Yeah. Well, just specifically in something where you need 8 cards to win with Scapeshift. We see Noble Hierarch from Cat here. Goes to 17 and Fetch Shock. And you need 7 cards to cast a Primeval Titan, the Titan in the lands. You need a critical mass of cards to make this happen.
Right. And on turn 2 will be a check. Cat would love to produce a Geist of Saint Traft here.
And I like, so here's something that Becky's doing. She did not end-step crack that fetch land. She does have a Renegade Rallier in hand. Now,
well, she also has no second land.
We'll see an end-step Rattle Chains from Light. And then that will give flash to the end-step Mausoleum Wanderer.
This will turn up the heat, and when you see Adlman missing land drops here, Mausoleum Wanderer is going to be very good against most of the ramp spells in the deck.
Yeah, we see 2 Farseek, 2 Explore. Those are both taken care of. Search, Sakura Tri-Belder still can resolve here.
Yes.
That would be her best play.
She will need a second land to do it, though.
For removal in the main, Becky today is on 2 Lightning Bolt, 2 Path to Exile, no Sweepers main. Rattle Chains exalts in for 3 damage.
This would be a game where it would be difficult to resolve a sweeper anyway.
And here is, it looks like a land off the top, so we are playing. Yeah, Sacred Foundry. In order to play the white cards, you have to play, she's playing 2 Sacred Foundries, looks like.
Yeah. As you would expect, bias towards Sacred Foundry, you don't want to play Temple Gardens so much because Forest tends to be the worst card in your deck.
There's some thought from her. You see, she shocks for the Foundry, what exactly she wants to play. She has a Path to Exile. She's going to fetch. If you're worried about these counter spells, you could wait till you have the 3rd land and then just Renegade Rallier. Looks like she is going to go for a 2-mana ramp.
Yeah, part of the problem with waiting to Rallier is that there's just no guarantee you see your third land drop next turn, and if it's not next turn, it might just be way too late.
And she'll go for Farseek, and that looks like it's going to get spell quelled here by Cat. Had the option to Wanderer it as well. Went for the Queller.
And I like the Queller, it just gets more pressure online. Adlman's also not doing too much in the way of casting more spells that actually matter. So sacrificing a creature versus committing another to the battlefield, I would rather apply more pressure.
Yeah. Looks like a swing for 5 is going to be set up from Cat. I'll put Becky down to 9.
Some consideration to deploying some kind of spirit pre-combat to make the Wanderer hit for a little bit more.
Okay. Looks like she might do just that. Yeah, Selfless Spirit will pump Wanderer. And this one will be then for 6, so Becky is down to 8. 7 power on the board as well for Cat. Might just be a 1-turn clock if she can produce another Spirit next turn. And that would likely be good enough. Becky draws, I believe, yeah, never mind, Wooded Foothills. But she can't really crack Wooded Foothills. There's 7 power on the board for Cat.
And that's all in Flyers. She has drawn a Renegade Rallier, but that can't block any of these creatures.
She has a Path to Exile in hand. So you could fetch into Rallier, but if you get back a fetch landing, there's no basic planes. You'd be taking 3 to cast the Path, so you'd still die to the attack.
Yikes.
She'll go to 7. I don't think she can survive this.
No. We won't have to wait too long to find out.
Well, no, one way or the other.
I am inclined to agree, though.
And here's Renegade Rallier. Revolt will get back a fetch land. But she is at 7. If she has specifically... No, I was going to say Lightning Bolt, but then she has to fetch down to 6 to cast that, and then the Wanderer should take care of things. So she'll say go from 7. Believe dead on board here. Cat just has to turn the Flyers sideways.
Yep, that math checks out from here.
And a tough set of game ones. This one looks like it's going Cat Light's way. And both Will Pulliam and Kwame Gunn take their game ones, so it might be a 3-0 split for the team of Pulliam, Light, and Gunn. Swing 7 in the air, and yeah, that'll do it. So a clean 3-0 in game ones. And there's going to be an uphill battle over here on the left.
Yep, gonna need some help from the sideboards here.
So Becky will go to the sideboard, hoping to get a 7-card hand also. It's going to be, that'll be important in this matchup. We'll be back with that in a minute. So looking over the sideboards, start over in Becky Adlman's side. Because she does have white in her deck, she gets some better sideboard options. A lot of those cards are spent on combo matchups. Valka typically has a weak combo matchup. So you see something starting with 3 Rest in Peace in her sideboard certainly makes sense. Not going to come in here, though.
Can I check my Damping Sphere does nothing square?
Not yet.
Got some
Not
Damping
yet. You
Spheres
just can't collect on the bet.
We have a couple Anger the Gods and a Sweltering Suns for Adlman. Those are quite good in the matchup.
Yeah.
I guess I'll bring in a Lightning Helix if I have it.
Yeah, that seems decent. See Obstinate Bailout, Seal of Primordium. Not really the matchup for those.
Yeah, not too any of the other cards. We go over to Light side. We have 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Kataki War's Wage, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Settle the Wreckage, 2 Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, a Unified Will, a Kosali Pride Mage, a Mirren Crusader, an Engineered Explosives, and a Worship.
None of them.
Yeah, this is largely
0.
stuff for other matchups. I actually like Unified Will.
Okay. Yeah, Unified Will is probably fine.
On the play, I'd probably reach for Thalia as well. On the draw, not so much.
Yeah.
It is good against these sweepers, and that's worth noting.
If there's something worse to board out, I can get behind Thalia.
There's some Path to Exiles
Yeah,
in the main deck. Those are pretty
right.
horrendous in the matchup.
They're better than that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Becky on a mulligan again.
Yikes.
That's tough.
Unfortunately, it is part of the game, but yeah, this is not a deck that mulligans well. Plus sideboard, when you can lean a little bit on Anger of the Gods, some of your hands are a little bit better when you mulligan. They're not better because you mulligan, obviously, but they're more playable than your game 1 configuration.
And Becky keeping on 6.
We see the scry here. I found a lot of times, I suppose this deck's fairly fetch land heavy. So often you scry and then it doesn't matter where you put the card because you shuffle on turn 1. Though without a Search for Tomorrow, you're usually not doing anything on turn 1 with a Scapeshift deck.
No, it looks like she may only have the 1 land. We'll see here. Bloodbraid Elf, Search for Tomorrow.
And there it is. You have to have something pretty juicy on top of the deck to not just shuffle it away.
Yeah. I mean, with Scapeshift, you keep just about any 6, especially when you're on the play. It is the nature of the deck you're playing that you just don't mull to 5 on the play, unless if it's 0 lands on 6, I guess you go to 5. But look, 1 land search, no second land you're going to keep. Mausoleum Wanderer, the play from Cat.
That's in this matchup, I think on average better than Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, I was going to say it can trade with a ramp spell, which is pretty big. Can protect against sweepers. Does Becky have a second land? Looks like she has a Valakut. She'll pass. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Means that the danger if she had missed the land, Cat could make a Thalia here and just straight up counter the Search for Tomorrow. Wanderer swings for 1. Becky to 18. We are going to see a 2-drop from Cat. She does have a Thalia. That's going to be the play. And upkeep, she'll pay red to cast Search for Tomorrow.
Thalia plus Wanderer makes it really hard for Adlman to convert a Sweltering Suns or Anger of the Gods.
Yeah, the sweepers are going to be rough. You might see her throw a spell if she can, just into the Wanderer and let it get countered, just to take some pressure off.
Yeah. Though there aren't too many that are super worth countering.
No, it's kind of like if you have a lightning bolt, you just bolt the Wanderer, and you're like, is this going to work? No, but it's what we're going to do. It also, this taxing effect of the Thalia makes the Bloodbraid Elf in Becky's hand potentially bad. Fortunately, her play is Sakura Tribuilder this turn, which that's something that doesn't care about either of those cards.
Yes. Yeah, up to 4 lands already. Sakura Tribe will put her up to 5. Yeah, the Bloodbraid Elf pretty likely to cascade into a non-creature spell, but with 5 mana, be able to pay for that.
2 Spell Quellers in hand for Cat. Or check that. At least one of them's a Drog Skull Captain. Those ones are 2 blue-white 3-drops. Some combination of Drog Skull. They might both be captains, not both be Spell Quellers.
Looks like a pair of captains to me. Captain a fair amount worse than Queller in the matchup.
Yeah.
It does make the Wanderer better. It will statically have more power. Though we're getting close to the range where Becky can start just casting Primeval Titan, and all these non-creature interactions just stop mattering.
Here's Drog Skull Captain. So Wanderer will have 3 power for this turn. Thalia with 2, so this is going to be a swing for, well, it'll end up being 3 with the Tri-Belter block. And Becky will be down to 15. And check here, Valakut, it's the 6th mountain that triggers.
Little ways off that.
Yeah, she does have 1 basic forest in play, which means just incidentally, like untapped land, a Primeval Titan here. That could actually still get 2 Valakut triggers, but none of the untapped land couldn't be a forest, for example.
Right. How many forests has Adlman brought to battle this weekend?
2, and then 1 plains.
The plains, yeah. Oh. So there's still 2 more lands that are not great here.
Cinderglade will be just fine, however.
Yep.
Primeval Titan would be the play here if she has it.
Looks
and
like
she does. All right. Here is just the best card in Modern. 6/6 here. Gets any 2 lands into play. There's a lot. Really, there's a lot of reasons she should get 2 mountains here and just mow down the creatures.
Yeah, definitely want to take care of the captain. She doesn't know the contents of Light's Hand, but the second captain means you can't go for creatures anymore. But the Titan is lethal next turn, but stopping the damage from coming through, we really slow down the clock.
She should make this decision assuming that the Titan is going to get Path to Exiled, because if it doesn't, nothing matters here. She's winning by a country mile.
Yeah.
So if you assume the Titan's going to get passed on the untap, what would you like the board to look like?
I would like my opponent's creatures to not be there anymore.
Yeah. That just seems best. You can get 2 Valakut here, but just 2 duels seems best. That's what she's going to do. So she'll have 2 bolts to throw. And really can only pick Thalia and Captain, as that Wanderer does have hexproof right now.
Right. Yeah, triggers happen at the same time. Captain is around for them.
She's debating sending him upstairs. It's unlikely that she wants to do that. Once the board is dealt with, yeah, she'll take care of the creatures. Once you take care of the creatures, winning from here is pretty trivial. Every land is a lightning bolt. Some extra pressure now on Becky. Will Pulliam a 2-0 winner in the Legacy matchup?
Turbo Depth's pretty good against Grixis Delver.
Wow. I'm so used to Grixis players saying that Grixis is good against everything.
I am not a believer in Grixis Delver in Legacy. Cue the torches and pitchforks.
Yeah, I don't even. Sweet bunch of angry emotes going your way right now.
Angry reacts only. I'm playing Legacy next weekend, and I'm not playing Grixis Delver. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to lose to it like 4 times, but I'm not playing it.
And Cat now just untapping at the 1/1. If she can't take care of the 6/6, none of this matters, and she can't. She'll pick up the cards. We're going to go to game 3. So Adlman puts her team on the board. She's going to need to win game 3, and she needs Collins to win the next 2. An uphill battle. You see Hunter's going to join Collins over on the standard match. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We'll have game 3 of Modern. getting ready for game number 3 here. Saw Becky win game 2. This is a matchup you have both of us, I think, liked on Becky's side. Now she's had some mulligans, but still won one of them. She'll be on the draw this round, this game. If she has a good 7, I'm not sure that matters.
Yep. Light's configuration. You have these main deck creatures, the Mausoleum Wanderers, the Spellquellers that play pretty well, though pretty light on counters in the sideboard, just the one unified will. You'd like to see more of that.
Two-headed giant players. Pairings for the next round are posted. Two-headed giant, please find your seats for the next round.
Turn 1 Noble Hierarch over on Cat's side.
For the first time in the match, looks like we see both players on 7.
7, yeah. Search for tomorrow on Becky's. And at the ready, we'll have, you see a Spellqueller picked up by Cat. She can get a threat down, and if it's Geist to St. Traft, and it is, this is the worst possible scenario for Scapeshift.
And on the play, you don't even have to fade Anger of the Gods here.
Right.
Light will be able to untap and start representing Spellqueller.
Yeah, and you see Becky has Sweltering Suns in hand, but it just doesn't matter. The Spellqueller's at the ready. She needs Sweltering Suns plus Lightning Bolt. That's a huge ask for the deck. See Tribelder. I guess like the danger would be if Cat has to not pull the trigger on don't Spellqueller the Search for Tomorrow.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do
that would be...
I would be surprised if that's the play.
Make sure that doesn't happen, but...
I don't think you register Banned
Yeah,
Spirits
to make that line.
if you're looking for lines like that.
Here's a swing with Geist. I mean, there is a worry that if you don't Spellquell it, I could see you being concerned with all the ramp Becky's doing, that you're just going to lose to a Primeval Titan. That's possible.
It is possible. I think because the threat is Geist, and you saw Cat was thinking a little bit about casting a second Noble Hierarch pre-combat.
Okay.
And it would be a double Exalted Geist next turn. That clock is just lethal in 2 turns.
There's the Wanderer. Leaving up 3.
You ever, when I play with Geist of St. Traft, I usually just use like my deck box as my angel token because it goes away so quickly. Just throw it on the table.
Mine's just like I take my fingers and make a tapping motion with them. And then people are like, all right, I took 4.
Pretend there's an angel here. I'm going to change the life totals. Did you do anything? Okay.
Search resolves. It's Bolt plus untapped land plus Anger that Becky would need here.
Well, the Mausoleum Wanderer changes that, doesn't it? Doesn't that just make it so you need more than that? Oh, no, land drop plus those things. Yeah, untapped land plus those 2 spells.
Gets Cinderglade. Now, I believe we have another result. 2-0. Kwame Gunn wins in Standard. So that's going to win the match for Pulliam, Light, and Gunn. We're going to stay with them as they finish this game here, going for the clean sweep. But really a powerful performance from Will Pulliam, Cat Light, and Kwame Gunn. Here's Bloodbraid Elf from Adlman. That's something, and it cascades into Anger of the Gods. So that seems great.
That's a good one.
That's a really good. Remember that the Bloodbraid Elf's actually still in the stack, so it's not going to die to this Anger.
If there were not a counter here.
Right. Well, even with the counter, now the Sweltering Suns in Becky's hand is freed up. And Bloodbraid Elf, remember, that blocks Geist of St. Traft.
That's true. And this should force Light to also produce another Noble Hierarch onto the battlefield to a double Exalt into the Bloodbraid Elf.
Oh, no. That second sweeper is going to... If that's what she does, and you're right, it might do that, then, yeah, you should watch out, because then this the Sweltering Suns is going to finds... I was going to say be the game. She finds Unified Will.
Yeah, okay. Forget about it.
Well, it was close.
It was.
But now it may not be. Huge draw for Cat Light. That'll protect her from the sweeper that is waiting. And now she'll cast Noble Hierarch. Here's Geist of St. Traft. It can exalt up to 4/4.
And the Angel token is slightly more damage than the 2 flying creatures. It's 4 versus 3.
So this is 8 damage in total. It would send Becky to 6. She will chump block the Geist of St. Traft. All in on this sweeper resolving, but it's not gonna. Becky draws, and it doesn't matter. She has both Primeval Titan and Sweltering Suns. The same thing will happen to both. Fetches to 9. Now, you do want to make sure that Cat, I'm counting her damage. It looks like she has exactly 9 damage, so this will be lethal next turn. Otherwise, you can say Becky could go up to 7 lands and actually just scape shift out.
Right. Yeah, the fetch land there made the attack lethal, though any spirit would have already.
Yeah. Which I think Cat has in hand. So Primeval Titan give me the play for Becky. And Unified Will is going to counter it. Becky will pass.
And yeah.
Oh, she actually just has 2 Farseeks on time. There wasn't even a Sweltering Suns, so it went for the play she had, but it was covered on all fronts. It's going to be a clean 3-match win for Pulliam, Light, and Gunn. This moves them to 6-1.